Yeah, I find it too. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Here we are again. This is the Buddz podcast. My name is Cody. This is
Raul.
And this is like I said, second episode. I just want to start off by saying that we are super thankful and grateful for the people who tuned in and viewed the first one.
Appreciate anybody who watched and shared. Honestly, it was pretty dope to see how many people watched, if you really watched. But either way, appreciate everybody and anybody who fucking shared and liked that shit.
Topic this week I want to talk about is overcoming struggle and adversity and the stuff that we've learned from that, maybe how to deal with the struggle immediately and just get into the other side of it. So ultimately, Raul, I like to look at it like there's all kinds of struggles that we as people go through every day, week, month, whatever it may be. Some of those struggles are big and a lot harder to deal with, like family members maybe being sick or losing friends, or your own health issues. Those are obviously really big and sometimes hard to deal with. But then there's also small struggles that we deal with like every day, like getting cut off in traffic or
waking up, having fucking positive energy.
Yeah, just waking up.
That's a struggle sometimes.
Groggy as fuck.
Yeah, everybody fucking struggles with that shit, waking up with energy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a small struggles, I feel.
Super small struggle, but still can be difficult to deal with. Have you had any small struggles like this week?
Fucking yeah, just about every day, honestly. So as you know, we're doing the 75 hard and shit. So I think getting that second workout is really, really tough, and then just keeping to the diet, honestly. But just waking up in the morning and just getting going from the morning, from the beginning, just like get yourself to go. That's been a struggle for me lately.
What do you tell yourself? Like, what is the thing that is playing in your head that makes it difficult to like get the workout going to begin with?
It's comfortable in your bed. Stay here.
Yeah, warm.
and it's starting to get cold out, so it's it's even more comfortable just laying in the warm. But as soon as I'm up, I'm up, like, and it's that easy for me. And it's kind of crazy. So, but it's hard to get out of bed. I snooze my alarm at least 3-4 times, but it's still fucking. I give myself enough time to do that, I guess. But
I think it's funny you said that once you're up out of bed that it's easy for you, because I'm the type to hop out of bed, turn my heater on, take a piss, and then jump back in bed and enjoy the warmth just for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, what do you tell yourself to get up out of bed?
Fucking, you want to do this kind of thing. I just know that I'm going to make myself feel bad throughout the day if I don't get up and do what I need to do. Yeah. So that's just kind of like a personal thing,
Yeah.
Kind of mind games.
Yeah. You just feel lazy if you don't get out of bed?
Yeah, I feel lazy. I feel guilty.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of, and it kind of just, I guess you could say, haunt me throughout the day, and it just pisses me off.
Just sleeping in?
Yeah. And it's not even really worth fucking sleeping another hour, honestly, to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one of the small struggles I've been having is, you said that second workout's hard for you. I think that first workout is probably the hardest for me, because I'm sore from like the day before, and I'm just like I have this like monologue in my mind, this dialogue that says, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, but it's like in my goals to get it done. And so I have to find a way to overcome that voice that says, like, this is going to hurt, essentially. Like, this is going to start to hurt. And
how many times a day do you fucking hear that voice, though? Kind of try to control you, even before like 75 hard. Now with 75 hard, I feel like we notice it even more than before.
Yeah.
But how many times, like, do you think, like, on a daily basis, without doing 75 hard, that shit kind of just takes over you?
See, that's the thing, is like I wasn't really aware of it before I started this challenge and had to have so many things done by the end of the day. And so I was just kind of just going about life, and probably just a repeating voice in my head throughout the day that stops you from doing those things until I'm like, okay, I want to get this one workout in, because if I don't, like you said, I feel guilty at the very end of the day and don't have much peace. So I kind of look ahead to the end of the day and say, I already know that if I don't do this, I'm not going to have peace, and that's the one thing that pushes me to do that. Yeah. But I think that voice is a little bit more I was way more unaware of it a couple weeks ago than I am today doing that challenge. But a lot of times, ultimately, it could be anything from doing the dishes to doing the workout to doing some yoga to getting to work on time and getting up out the door at the right time. Just all these things that are like, oh, I got to do this, or it's gonna hurt.
What's like the biggest thing you've kind of learned with like doing this challenge? Because in a way, if you really look at it, it's kind of, you deal with a lot of adversity with this challenge, I feel.
Yeah.
In a different aspect than like just different situations. But there's some adversity to this. Like, what's something that you've like picked up on that shit?
Pretty much like I said, just overcoming that dialogue and creating a new dialogue.
Right.
So instead of, oh, this is gonna hurt, I just kind of tell myself like, shut up, like you got to do this because you have set it as a goal for yourself to do it, and if you don't do it, you start over. So it's like, just shut up and get going. That's the thing for me, is like, don't get it perfect, get it going. Like, yeah, it might hurt a little bit to start, it might be uncomfortable, and you might even get to a slow start, because I'm the type of person who's like, oh, I want to do everything like full speed and really get into it. So it's like, really just shut up, Cody, quit complaining to yourself, you're gonna be okay, and get started. Because once I get started with that workout, it's just like, all right, I'm here. 5 minutes in, and now I'm ready for another 35. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy how much we realize how much time we waste throughout the day with just doing this stuff.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy how much.
Just the time we waste sitting there going, this is gonna be hard, and then distracting ourselves with like our phone. Yeah. Because that's comfortable. That's easy. Like, pull out the phone, and then like 3, 4, 5, 20 minutes sometimes just go by, and I'm like, dang, I have still not started my workout because I keep saying it's gonna be hard, and that's, like I said, when I have to tell myself, shh, let's get this going.
For real.
If you have a family member sick, like, obviously that's a lot bigger problem than how do I get this workout in, or maybe a little bit harder to deal with, essentially, maybe than being a bigger problem, but because we always obviously got to keep ourselves healthy, that's really important. But what would you say, if you could come up with something right now, like on the spot, would be like a bigger issue in your life that you've had to overcome, like maybe in your childhood, or maybe it was more recent, that you could talk about?
I grew up with, obviously, like, both my parents, like, till I was 12 years old, and then, shit happens, my dad left and stuff like that, so we were kind of always stuck with, like, not a home, like, we were always, out and about with my grandma in different houses and stuff like that, so it was really tough on, like, me as a kid, but I didn't really understand that shit. But it's just kind of like, I always knew I didn't want that situation ever in my life again. Mm-hmm. And then just keeping that in the back of my head and stuff like that, and just certain situations that that came along with that situation, made me just realize, like, in the back of my head, I don't ever want to feel this or go through it again, or just have anybody that I know experience that. So it's just kind of looking at the positive side of it, really, and then just like, like, knowing I don't want to feel this again, so I got to do everything in my power to work towards a better life, I guess. Mm-hmm. And man, it just, like, it comes with experience, and it comes with like certain situations, like you said, how you deal with it, and just like the circumstances. I'm really grateful that I had, family and friends that, like, I grew up playing baseball with, and travel teams, and so I always saw, right, like, quote unquote families that were happy. So I was like, shit, that's what I want in my life, and that's what kind of, like, motivated me to, like, do better in life, kind of shit. Right. But that's kind of probably the biggest one. And honestly, the way that I kind of dealt with that growing up is really big on how I think now. Right.
Was there ever a time, like, maybe close to after, say, your dad getting up out of your life, that you almost were kind of like going in that cycle of, like, dang, I wish this wasn't the way it is, or, like, why me, essentially?
Honestly, I never really, like, asked myself those questions. Like, I always just kind of knew there was a reason for it. It was just kind of weird. I never really thought like that.
Yeah, that's super mature of you, honestly, at that
and
age.
Then, like, it as much as, like, it sucked, experiencing it, like, I never questioned it, like, why me kind of thing. So as I got older, I just kind of realized, like, it happened to me for a reason kind of thing.
You were never, like, wishing that it could be a different way, or wishing you could have spent more time with your dad, or something like that?
In a way, just more so for, like, sporting reasons is
right.
really it. Didn't really have anyone to push me, kind of thing. Right. Do the extra work. Right. So that's really the only aspect that I kind of wish I had. Right. But other than that, no. Yeah. like in a way, like, I'm grateful for that scenario, and because it's made me who I am today, and it's pretty dope. Yeah. And I don't know. But as I got older, like I said, it got easier to kind of understand it. And when I fully let go of, like, the hate was when I was 18, 19, and my mindset really changed after then.
What do you think pushed that mindset change, turning 18?
Kind of like I had hate and shit, and so I was really resentful.
Just to stop you right there real quick, like, the hate of and the resentment of just, like, your dad not being part of your life?
Yeah, like, not understanding why the fuck would you do that kind of thing, Right. So like me letting go of that was like me telling myself like this is affecting me and not him. Like I'm the one thinking
Right.
about it all the time. I doubt he's thinking about it. So I just figured if I let go of this, I'm gonna eventually feel better. And you know, slowly but surely I did. And it's nothing like I thought I knew was gonna help, but I just knew how to do that.
Right. Yeah. So you essentially took ownership over the problem and said like.
Yeah, because like I said, it was affecting me more than it was him.
Right.
I thought in my head. So
Right. Yeah. Just not letting it affect you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally relate with that ultimately, like specifically with the moving around a lot because like I always remember my parents being separated, so I was always with either my dad or either my mom, and it was always back and forth, and we lived in all kinds of different places, so it was like always hard to like build a group of friends to begin with, like until like the 3rd grade when we kind of settled down to place with my dad. And so I just always remember being like fearful going to school, like trying to meet new friends and being super upset the first day and first week because it was always something different. And then ultimately just getting older and looking back on that situation and like you said, now having gratitude for it because I feel like I fit in so many different groups of people. And so it was like at the time it was like, oh my gosh, this is so horrible. And then like eventually just kind of quit like looking at it like that because I didn't want to blame like, because for a minute it was kind of like, oh, I don't want to go try and hang out with those kids because I already have a couple of friends that I like and I don't want to get myself out of this again because I'm sick of meeting new people all the time.
Yeah.
And then it was like kind of forced upon me to meet new people, and then it was like almost natural, and I started to realize that it was like, oh, like because I went through that, this is actually pretty easy for me. So like
yeah,
again,
now as like you're older, like I see it's fairly easy for you to like go and interact with some people because I'm assuming this is like a reason for it too.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's like it doesn't matter if you're into music, sports, if you're more like on that gothic vibe or anything like that. Like maybe you're really nerdy. I can totally sit down, have a conversation, and hang out with you and vibe out with you. It doesn't got to be like I was definitely in high school much more like sporty, but always hanging out with different groups of people. Like honestly, my family's always like Cody's a jock, but he gets along with everybody, and I was always like, yeah, like there's no reason not to. Ultimately.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah. And so is that like probably the biggest challenge of adversity you kind of faced throughout your life that kind of had the biggest impact on the way you kind of look at things now?
It's definitely not the biggest. I have a couple I could touch on, but I think probably the biggest one that really affects me and the way that I navigate my life was that after we did settle down, my dad ended up meeting a lady and stuff, and they got pretty addicted to drugs for some time. And that was pretty difficult. And if you guys are watching this, it's all love. It is just the truth. So this is just me and my story and expressing what I went through. But yeah, ultimately I got addicted to drugs for some time, and our house got kind of ridiculous as far as just like neglect and stuff like that. And ultimately, yeah, like that shaped me for a really long time.
What did you learn the most though out of that? Like what did you learn? I guess the most?
I ultimately learned to take extreme ownership for my problems because as I got older, I blamed a lot of the situations that I was going through on that. I would always look back and be like, man, like why didn't they teach me this, or why weren't they there for me for that, and all those things. And I just really only end up getting myself into more issues with that type of thinking until I was finally like, this is really up to you. Like you're an adult now. Like you have to take on all your problems as an adult and not blame the situation that you went through. And really just taught me like, because during that time in my life, I was kind of like on my own essentially. Like my parents were kind of removed from the situation, so I was always out running the neighborhood, trying to find ways to make myself some money, or always really playing basketball with my friends and trying to stay out of trouble myself. And so looking at that situation, going like, okay, let's now do this as an adult. Like let's run around trying to find ways to make money. Let's play some sports and hang out with people who are good for you, and try to stay away from all the people who aren't contributing to your peace, happiness, and essentially progression in life. And so I really learned just to keep to myself and surround myself with good people.
So that's kind of what you kind of live by now, kind of.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, definitely. Don't blame my past. Look at that as like, what skills did I learn in that situation? Essentially, like I learned how to deal with a lot of stressful and a lot of pressure in that situation, and just keep moving, keep going. Like stuff's difficult, but that doesn't have to affect my mindset.
And that goes for just about every situation though. I feel like you just kind of have to overlook the negative, but kind of, you know, like the last episode, you know, accept the situation for what it is,
right,
and then just look at what it can be afterwards. You know, just overlooking all that bullshit.
Yep.
And then it's your mindset and the way you think and approach after that kind of thing.
Yep. And I think also too, like you touching on that just kind of makes me think too, like I also kind of like blamed that situation a lot, like where I wasn't taking ownership and being like, dang, I'm without because of these things. Like I don't have as much nice stuff as my friends did because like their family was like all together the whole time throughout them growing up. And instead of being like, man, this sucks, like I just started taking like gratitude, like counting my blessings essentially. What do I have today? Like, do I have shoes on my feet? Do I have a roof over my head? Do I have food in my cupboards? If those questions are all answered yes, then today should be a good day.
How do you acknowledge your gratitude?
Ultimately I've created a practice out of it. So it's almost an everyday thing for me. Is like wake up, say thank you, like I'm glad to be alive, and then just pretty much just go over that checklist essentially. Just, do I have shoes? Do I have a roof over my head? And do I have food? And if, like I said, if those answers are all checked yes, then I really shouldn't have like much reason to be terribly upset, because there's so many people who don't have those things even still today.
Yeah, I feel like those things are the things when we wake up, we're comfortable with them being there. We're used to having it, so
right.
It's just kind of like boring to us. So it's like there's no way to, you know, say thank you for having shoes on my feet and stuff like that, food, roof on my head. Like you're just used to it.
Yeah, it's really easy to not feel gratitude because, well, specifically here in the States, like a lot of these amenities that we live with are offered to most people. So it's like people are like, yeah, of course I have water in my house. Of course I have shoes on my feet. But like for me, there was times where I didn't have shoes on my feet, or I didn't have water in my home, or I didn't have electricity. And so it was like, so to answer yes to those questions is like, hey, way better than I was before.
Yeah, for real.
Let's keep making this situation better instead of looking at what I don't have and look at what I do have. There was this guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said, if you always look at the things you don't have, you'll never have enough. And if you look at the things you do have, you'll always have more than enough. And I really love to live by that and create like a practice out of it, because ultimately if I don't create a practice out of it, like you said, it just goes right under the rug. It's like, yeah, I got shoes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, what do shoes help me out with today? It's like, take them off.
Take them off and walk to work.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're having a lot more rough of a day.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, I think it's great that, like, talking about the bigger struggles is crazy, because you said, like, everyday life can be these, like, tactics that I use to overcome those big struggles is exactly the same tactics I use in traffic when somebody cuts me off. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
And I get like angry for a second, and then like I've learned that the more that I'm angry, that just kind of spirals down to a hill. I try to switch lanes, and then you rear end somebody, and you're like, oh my gosh, this just got 10 times worse than somebody cutting me off. So instead, it's like, one, I recognize that upsetness, like being like,
no reason for it.
Yeah,
it's a waste of energy, basically.
Exactly. And because I was having a good day, it's like pretty easy to recognize, like, oh my gosh, that's hella annoying. And so then I literally say, why are you so upset? Do you have shoes on your feet? Do you have a roof over your head?
Yeah.
And that's
you get in a wreck,
checklist.
Or that'd be shitty. But it's just like the little things, you fucking look at. Like, there's no reason to be upset.
Yeah. You just look over those things essentially. If you don't create a practice out of checking them off. So if you are going through something, my recommendation is just really go make a little checklist for yourself. Maybe you write it on a piece of paper, and whenever you start to feel like, dang, life is hard, this is difficult, or I'm upset with the place that I'm at, go over that checklist and just go over that checklist again, and really keep yourself accountable to holding yourself with a high amount of gratitude. Have you had any other struggles this week? Have anybody cut you off in traffic?
No, I'm a careful driver. No, I usually don't get mad. I don't cut people off. I stay in the middle lane, basically.
Yeah.
I'm always cruising and chilling. There's no reason to get mad, because I've been in that situation where I've been fucking pissed about somebody cutting me off, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to go flip them off and yell at them and fucking... No, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So, no, I just chill. No, I don't think I piss people off either.
So talking about all these bigger struggles really just makes me think about the everyday struggle. And at the beginning of the episode, you talked about doing 75 hard, which is a 75-day challenge that we've taken on. And now we're faced with small challenges every single day for 75 days straight.
Critical tasks, not challenges. Yeah. But it is a challenge to complete all those critical tasks. What is it, 5 of them?
Yep. What are they?
Drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages, 2 45-minute workouts, 1 outdoors, and then what was the last one? Stick to a diet, no cheat meals.
And taking a progress pic.
Yeah, a progress pic comes with it too. Honestly, the first week, the first couple of days it was kind of easy. I've been used to working out twice a day for like the last 2 months.
Yep.
But I've been taking my breaks and stuff, so that kind of offsets that. But it was easy for the first couple of days, and then it got really exhausting, really mentally exhausting. It was hard. Like, it was just a constant battle with your mind, And what I realized, the mind doesn't like to be overruled. It kind of wants to tell you what to do. But if you got shit to do and you hold yourself accountable, and that's where the discipline is built. It was just part of what this program that you're supposed to gain at the end of the 75 days. And it's hard. It got hard by like day 7. Like, I was mentally exhausted.
What are we on, 12 today?
Day 12 today, yeah.
Day 12, yeah.
And it seems to be getting a little bit easier, but
yeah. You said by day 7 was the day you were like, man, this is harder than I thought.
Yeah, it was probably day 6, day 7. Dude, I was just like fucking exhausted.
Yeah, for me it was like I actually hadn't been working out because I had some stuff that I was going through this summer, and so I was taking a little bit of break from exercise, and we were both listening to Andy Frisella's podcast and decided, we're like, hey man, you want to try this challenge with me? And I was like, shit, bet. It's a great way to get myself back into shape and challenge myself. So honestly, the first like 2-3 days were incredibly difficult for me because I was just coming off that like sore shock, like when you ain't been working out in a minute and now you're super sore and you have 2 workouts to do every single day no matter what. So yeah, it was pretty difficult in my mind, just like I said, like complaining to myself, being like, oh man, another workout.
Yeah, especially on the weekends, especially Sunday. Sunday is just kind of like your body's like, I want to chill the fuck out. You're like, nah, motherfucker.
Yeah,
but it's hard. It's really challenging on the weekends. I think that's the hardest part too. And day 6, day 7 was on a Saturday, Sunday too.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yep. So they got really tough.
I usually got some side hustles going on the weekends, so like I'm already up and at it. So it wasn't like too difficult, like as far as like those really aren't rest days for me anyways. I just kind of keep it rolling. So the weekend was kind of similar as far as the rest of the days go. Ultimately, after I really recognized it's the things I'm saying to myself in my head. I'm so sore. I don't want to do this. I started switching it. I was like, I do want to do this.
Yeah.
Why else would I be doing the challenge? I do want to do this. Let's get it going.
It's like, I don't want to eat this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Yeah.
Oh shit, I want to eat that.
Right. Yeah. And then really just focusing on the goal at mind, or the goal at tasks, essentially, is that when that comes up, it's like, well, what's the goal? And if I listen to my brain saying, hey, eat that, or hey, don't eat that.
Oh, no alcohol too. I think I forgot that. No alcohol for 75 days. Yeah. And if you miss either one of those tasks, you got to start over every day 1. And if you kind of miss one of those and you don't restart, then that's kind of just on your conscience at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah, for yourself.
So it's definitely tough.
Yeah. So ultimately, it's like what I'm hearing is that if you're going through a struggle, no matter how big or how small, count the things you got. Take a gratitude list and check those things off. Count your blessings, whatever you want to call it. What do you have instead of what don't you have? Focus on the goal. So if you don't have a vision, you should probably create a vision and some form of goal for yourself, even if that is to be happy, because it's like, oh, I don't want to do this workout. Go back to the goal. Is that going to make me happy to skip this workout? Might make you comfortable in the moment, but how do you feel always after you finish the workout? Great, right?
Energized most of the time.
Exactly, because you're headed towards that goal.
Yep.
And so that's what I like to do. Like, oh man, I don't want to do this. Well, what's the goal? All right, I got to do it. Let's get it. Let's get up and get going.
It's tough how much you think, you're disciplined, quote unquote. Not everybody feels disciplined, but I thought I was really disciplined.
Right.
And doing this has made me realize I'm not as disciplined as I thought I was.
Yeah, I thought I was taking really good care of myself, and I was like, and now I'm realizing that I could be doing it even more, like just stretching after workouts and eating the right foods when I just thought it was cool to just eat some muffins for calories. And now I just feel way more energized now that I'm not doing that because I am eating good. And so It's definitely a
Fig
big
bars
switch.
for lunch.
Yeah.
Cheetos.
with the Cholula and the Tapatio and the Cheetos. Classic.
Fuck, can't go wrong. And 10 cups of coffee.
You can go wrong with 10 cups of coffee.
That's funny.
Well, ultimately, I think that hits a lot of points for anybody who might be struggling out there.
Yeah.
And obviously, with the theme of this podcast, I'm sure we're going to talk about struggle more.
Get into depth with everything, as we get, a little awkward still, but we're going to get comfortable, and then it's just figuring it out.
Yeah, it does feel a little awkward still.
But I think it's just going to be more natural.
Yeah, while we're here, I just kind of want to chat with you, ultimately. You say you went to Green Bluff today?
Yeah.
How was that?
Fucking not what I expected.
No?
Nah, man, I was expecting a maze. I was expecting the
You're
whole
expecting
nine,
a corn
bro.
maze?
Yeah, bro.
There's not a corn maze.
I know, bro.
That's funny.
I got there and I was disappointed, but, picked out some pumpkins. That's about it.
Yeah?
Walked around.
Is that all they have there? I haven't been up there in a minute.
At the one spot, they had the pumpkins and stuff, and then we walked over down the street to I forgot, a little different one, and they had a couple vendors and stuff, like crystals and clothes and
nice.
paintings. And then...
Was it like a pop-up shop?
There was like 8 little pop-ups, but I guess it is, yeah.
Is it? Do you?
And then
you
had
might not
paintings
know
too.
this, but is it like? Do you think it's set up all the time, or was it just set up for this weekend?
I think it's every weekend.
Okay.
Or when it's open.
That's cool.
At least.
That's cool.
But yeah.
I saw on your Snapchat you were trying to talk to some goats
some
and donkeys.
goats, dude. Yeah, it was Tom Brady sitting there in the fucking...
Really like Tom Brady.
Donkey, dude. I was asking him where Shrek was, and he kept looking at me, and I was just like, dude, I think he knows what I'm talking about.
That's because he's Eeyore, bro. That's not Donkey. That's Eeyore, bro. You should ask him where Winnie the Pooh was.
Yeah, I guess I could have.
He was looking kind of sad.
But yeah, they had a little maze there at that one, but it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, just small.
It was just easy to get out. Like, you
Yeah.
could see the other side.
Yeah, it wasn't a scary maze either.
No.
Yeah.
And they had some games there, like cornhole.
Did you play cornhole?
Putt. No, I didn't play anything.
Oh.
They had Jenga with like bigger blocks and shit.
That was cool.
So it's kind of cool, a little scenery. It's kind of cool out there, the rural.
Yeah, that's
You know,
cool.
it's nice out there.
Who'd you go with?
My girl.
Nice.
Hella windy though.
Yeah, it was very windy today. My second workout today, I did down at Liberty Park. I just played some basketball, and I didn't shoot any threes. I just shot like little 5-footers and 10-footers, 15-footers. Pretty much the further I got out, the harder it was. You got to put more arc on the ball. The wind was just carrying it everywhere, and it's super frustrating to play basketball in the wind.
Yeah.
But I got through it. It was nice. I'm happy that I finished that workout.
Yeah, I think the second workout's going to start getting tough once it starts getting colder, but...
Oh, yeah, the outdoor workout,
nice.
essentially.
Yeah, it'd be nice, I
Whether
guess.
you decide to do that first or second.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather is something to overcome for sure if you're going to be outside in it. How was your week at work?
Fun. Exhausting. Not really exhausting. Tiring in a way, but it's fun. Learn. Bullshit a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, my week is good. My week has been busy. Like you said, with the 75 hard, it feels like stuff doesn't stop. I wake up, work out, I eat, because that's part of my goal is eat a lot. I got to hit 2,500 calories at the end of the day, by the end of the day. And so it's either eat or drink. And then I hop in my truck and I let it warm up. And then I read some out of my book while it's warming up. And then I head to work.
Yeah.
And then I work. And then I go home. I do another workout and eat some more. Read if I haven't finished the 10 pages. So it's just been really consistent and constant, which I've been enjoying because I've been staying off of my phone. And that's really opened my eyes. Yeah. Really makes me realize how much time I have and how much time I've been wasting. But ultimately, my week at work was nice. Got to see everybody. Nobody called out this week. Everybody seems like they're in a good mood, so that's nice.
I think it's been like that for the last couple of weeks, and it's been nice, peaceful.
Yep.
Kind of hanging out, it seems like, but, we get shit done.
Yeah. Also had some side hustles this week, so I went and did it.
How's that going?
It's going great. I got one consistent lady that I really like doing her garden. It's just a super big place, and I've been going out there often. And so she got like a garden. She got another lawn over here. She got some other stuff over here. I got in the creek for her this weekend and moved some rocks that were...
That's the place with the art gallery that one weekend, right?
Yep. The little Spokane art gallery.
Yeah, that was
the
cool.
little Spokane River art gallery, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. That was
Follow
cool.
me on Instagram now.
Cool to see.
That was definitely cool to see. So if you had one thing you could tell the viewers this week about maybe they're going through a struggle right now, what do you think the first thing that they should do to take steps to overcome that, or maybe see just a change in their mindset about what it is?
I think outweigh the good and the bad first. Kind of see how bad your situation really may be. Sometimes it's more tragic than others, kind of thing. But just kind of analyze your situation and then just go from there. And then if you need to work out, do some yoga, meditate or something to get yourself in a peace of mind. Take that step first. Maybe kind of just clear your mind, and then after that, just what are you able to control in that situation?
Right.
Look at what you can control, and then X out what you can't control.
Yep.
And then just get yourself a little bit of peace of mind, and then just don't overthink it really, because overthinking is what kills us, and then it just becomes overwhelming, and that's when anxiety kind of kicks in.
Right.
And then a lot of people start their week with anxiety. That's Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, anxiety is definitely difficult when you're overthinking. I really like the what can you control specifically, because there's a lot of things in life we cannot control, but the one thing you can always control about life is your attitude. So something difficult may have just happened. You might have hurt your ankle. Your coworker might have called in and now you have to do all their tasks today, but you can control your attitude about how you feel about that. You can't control them for not showing up. You can't control your other workers, your other coworkers' attitudes or anything like that. They might be super down and negative,
right.
But you can always make the choice to say, I'm going to be above this and I'm going to still keep a good attitude about this no matter how many things come crashing down on me. Like, you can't control the weather, but you can control your attitude.
And if you keep your attitude, positive and up right there, you have the power to affect those around you who, probably seem down at that time.
Right.
If it's your work area, workplace, whatever, that's a good spot to keep your attitude up, because that's going to affect everybody else. They're going to be like, shit, if he's happy, let me be happy.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons I do it, is because I want the other people around me to not see me getting down. Like, damn, this is a tough day, but this motherfucker's smiling, laughing, dancing. He's having a good time.
Shit's not that bad.
No. So there you have it. Pretty much freaking don't stress out on the things that you can't control. Focus on the things that you can control.
Which is your attitude for the most part and your perspective.
And take steps to reach your goals and have that goal in mind.
Yeah, and don't let anything stop you. Like, it's going to get hard. Just like I said last time, keep faith.
Yep.
And just keep moving forward. But, we thank everyone for watching the last one, sharing it. Like we said, make sure to go like, share, subscribe, shop, anything you want. Any support is appreciated. We love it. It's dope seeing feedback and everything. So we appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys keep watching, because we're just going to keep sharing our story, our, experiences, and we want to grow with you guys. We don't have shit figured out. I hope you guys figure it out, because we're trying to figure it out. But we're just trying to make it easier. Stay high, stay motivated, stay happy, as they say. Let's get it.
That's a wrap.
But I'm a money-making, meditating, marathon-minded, musically inclined human being. I'm a great soul with a great flow, a creature you have never seen. Yeah. I'm a money-making, meditating, marathon-minded, musically